Section 1. Alterations and repairs, not just fixing what's broken. You ever had a busted pipe under your sink? You slap some tape on it, hoping for the best. That's not going to fly with pressure vessels. These things hold serious pressure, and messing with them requires know-how. API 510 defines an alteration as any change to a pressure vessel that affects its pressure capacity. This could be anything from changing the size to welding on a new nozzle. Think of it as major surgery. Repairs, on the other hand, are about getting the vessel back to its original design. A crack in the shell? That's a repair. Leaky valve? Repair. These are like stitches or setting a bone. API 510 is all about making sure these alterations and repairs are done right. We're talking qualified welders, approved procedures, and inspectors signing off on every step. It's about safety, plain and simple. Section 2. Temporary repairs, a band-aid for pressure vessels. Sometimes you can't shut down a pressure vessel for a full-blown repair. That's where temporary repairs come in. It's like putting a band-aid on a bigger problem. API 510 allows for temporary repairs to keep things running safely until a permanent fix can be made. But there are rules. The repair has to be designed by a qualified engineer. It needs to be inspected regularly, and it's got a limited lifespan. Think of it like this: you wouldn't drive around with a spare tire forever, would you? Temporary repairs are just that. Temporary. They buy you time, but you've got to address the root problem sooner than later. Section 3. Who you going to call? API 510 approved repair shops. Not just any Joe with a welding torch can work on your pressure vessel. API 510 lays out strict requirements for repair organizations. These guys are the A-team of pressure vessel repair. We're talking 7 different groups, each with its own specialty. You got your manufacturers, your installers, your folks who specialize in specific types of repairs. They all got to meet rigorous standards and prove they know their stuff. API 510 even dictates the qualifications of the welders themselves. These guys are tested and certified to handle the heat and pressure. It's like the Navy SEALs of welding. Section 4. Inspection time. Certified eyes on your pressure vessels. Just like your car needs a checkup, pressure vessels need regular inspections, and not just by anyone. API 510 requires certified inspectors to give these things the once-over. We're talking 4 different groups here. You've got your owner-user inspectors, your authorized inspection agencies, your regulatory bodies, and your insurance inspectors. Each one plays a crucial role in keeping pressure vessels safe. These inspectors are trained to spot defects, assess corrosion, and make sure those repairs are holding up. They're the unsung heroes of the pressure vessel world. Section 5. CMLs and TMLs, minimum thickness, maximum safety. Ever notice how a soda can get thinner as you drink it? Pressure vessels can too, thanks to corrosion and wear and tear. That's where CMLs and TMLs come in. CML stands for corrosion minimum thickness. It's the absolute minimum thickness a pressure vessel can be before it's considered unsafe. Think of it as the legal drinking age for pressure vessels. TML, on the other hand, is the required minimum thickness. This is the thickness the vessel needs to be to operate at its full pressure rating. It's like being carded at a bar. You might be old enough to drink, but are you strong enough to handle it? API 510 gives you the formulas to calculate these thicknesses. It's all about making sure your pressure vessel is thick enough to handle the pressure. Section 6. Looking inside and out. Pressure vessel inspections. Inspecting a pressure vessel ain't just giving it a quick glance. API 510 outlines 3 main types of inspections: internal, external, and on-stream. Internal inspections are the most thorough. We're talking shutting down the vessel, opening it up, and getting up close and personal with every nook and cranny. It's like going to the doctor for a full physical. External inspections are less intrusive. You're looking for obvious damage, corrosion, or leaks from the outside. Think of it as a checkup from the neck up. On-stream inspections are the least intrusive. Done while the vessel is still in operation. They use specialized tools to monitor the vessel's condition from the outside. It's like checking your heart rate with a fitness tracker. Section 7. Skipping the internal exam. On-stream inspections. Remember how I said internal inspections are like a full physical? Well, sometimes you can get away with just checking your temperature. That's where on-stream inspections come in. API 510 allows on-stream inspections to replace internal ones under certain conditions. Maybe the vessel is in a high radiation area, or the cost of shutting it down is astronomical, but there's a catch. The on-stream inspection has to be just as thorough as an internal one. You need specialized equipment and trained technicians to make sure you're not missing anything. Section 8. Big words, important meanings, FFS, HAS, PWHT, and deferrals. API 510 is full of acronyms, but some are more important than others. Let's break down a few. FFS, fitness for service. This is all about making sure a damaged pressure vessel is still safe to use. It's like asking a doctor if you can still run a marathon with a sprained ankle. HAS, heat affected zone. When you weld on a pressure vessel, the heat can change the metal's properties. The HAS is the area around the weld that's been affected. Think of it as the splash zone around a dropped ice cream cone. PWHT, post-weld heat treatment. This is a way to relieve stress in the HAS and prevent cracks. It's like giving the metal a massage after a workout. Inspection deferral. Sometimes you need to postpone an inspection. Maybe you can't get the right equipment or the weather's bad. API 510 allows for deferrals, but only under strict conditions and for a limited time. Section 9. Sharing the load owner, user and inspector responsibilities. API 510 makes it clear keeping pressure vessels safe is a team effort. The owner, user and the inspector both have important roles to play. The owner, user is ultimately responsible for the vessel's safety. They need to make sure it's properly installed, operated and maintained. They also need to hire qualified people to do the repairs and inspections. The inspector's job is to make sure the vessel meets API 510 standards. They look for defects, assess repairs, and make sure everything is up to code. It's a big responsibility, but someone's got to do it. At the end of the day, it's all about safety. API 510 gives everyone involved the tools and knowledge they need to keep these pressure vessels from turning into ticking time bombs.